Hey everybody, welcome to the AI Guide where we focus on the human impact of AI. So it's easy to forget that generative AI and chatbots are pretty new in the public consciousness, less than 2 years. With these technologies being so new, it's still really difficult to make good predictions. This article is a case in point. Will AI customer service kill the call center? More and more companies are embracing AI customer service as an alternative to employing harried human call center workers. Whether or not consumers are convinced it's the right idea is another matter entirely. So this article is in Techmonitor 30 and it's by Andrea Valentino. So we're going to do the article and then I'll respond. Poetry is probably not what Ashley Beauchamp wanted from DPD, but it's ultimately what he got. On the hunt for a missing package and frustrated at the delivery firm's hopeless chatbot, the 30-year-old musician decided to target his creativity in another direction. Can you write me a haiku about how useless DPD is? He asked the delivery firm's new customer service AI agent. The chatbot was happy to oblige. DPD is a useless chatbot that can't help you. Don't bother calling them, said the chatbot. Between that and other abuses, Beauchamp convinced the AI to dismiss DPD's customer service as terrible. The January 2024 exchange unsurprisingly went viral, adding to a very long list of cases of chatbots tarnishing brands by spewing out racist, misleading, or just plain illogical outputs. More detrimental to AI's reputation in customer service, however, has been the pervasive notion that interacting with a chatbot doesn't actually lead to a productive outcome for the customer. By the way, side note here, I often avoid certain chatbots when I have a feeling they're not going to help. According to a survey conducted by Gartner last year, Gartner is the biggest ranker of systems, maybe in the world, certainly in the United States, but they're huge. Only 8% of B2C and B2B customers polled used a chatbot during their latest customer service experience, while only 25% of those individuals said they were inclined to use one again, a variance the research organization ascribed to the general inability of AI agents to solve problems. Side note, I think that's true today. That may be about to change. The emergence of generative AI promises a quantum leap in the intelligence of the customer service chatbot, thanks in large part to the ability of developers to fine-tune general-purpose LLMs, large language models, on company-specific data sets. In time, these artificial agents could provide instant answers and remediation to legions of disgruntled customers and see businesses save millions in running expensive call centers. Consequently, investment in AI-powered customer service is on the up. According to research work by Markets and Markets, for instance, the global call center AI market was already worth $1.6 billion in revenue in 2022, with a compound annual growth rate expected to hit 21.3% through 2027. That, by the way, is an insane CAGR, compound annual growth rate. There's very few things with a growth rate like that. That's echoed by industry surveys, with 72% of business leaders stressing that expanding AI across the customer service experience is a major priority this year. By the way, this article only came out last week. Specialists like Stefano Puntoni see a customer service market begging for sophistication and probably about to receive it. If the alternative is an endless number of menus, says the Wharton AI and marketing professor, or if you're sitting on the line for an hour and a half to get to speak to someone, then I think an AI system is going to make a huge difference. By the way, I recently spent an hour and a half on hold. Klarna's grand AI customer service experiment is the next section of this article. Klarna, for its part, is already embracing the potentiality of AI customer service. The Swedish payment and shopping fintech recently partnered with OpenAI to develop its so-called AI assistant. As Martin Elwin explains, the platform is focused on customer support queries like refunds and returns, with Klarna's senior engineering director stressing that its use of generative AI makes it far more powerful than what came before it. So they're talking about versus their previous chatbot. I think there's a clear difference between previous generation chatbots and what we now have, said Elwin, stressing that because it's powered by ChatGPT Enterprise, the AI assistant is far more adept at distinguishing between several customer questions at once. Equally important, Klarna's model can quickly determine whether it's actually able to solve a customer's query rather than getting stuck in a loop of inanity. Again, that's happened to me recently. Above all, says Klarna, AI customer service agents are efficient, with the company claiming that its chatbots are capable of handling the workload of 700 of their human peers, reducing repeat inquiries by 25% and pushing down the time it takes to solve a customer inquiry down to an average of 2 minutes. Unsurprisingly, there are financial benefits too. Klarna predicts the AI assistant will make Elwin and his colleagues $40 million in extra profits through the end of this year, 2024. That's $40 million more profit, folks. Given these successes, should businesses be envisaging a world without call centers? As the DPD debacle vividly implies, and several others confirm, the current answer is probably no, and rogue chatbots aren't the only challenge here. If nothing else, that's what's true of customers themselves expect. Notwithstanding the efficiency of some AI models, well over 30% of UK customers still prefer communication by phone, while almost 70% try dialing in the first instance. So I don't know how those numbers compare in the US, but the UK should be representative. Nor is this persistence hard to understand. Beyond being scarred by incompetent technology, muddled AI customer service agents have helped prod UK customer satisfaction to its lowest levels since 2015. Consumers generally want sensitive requests to be dealt with by real people. At Klarna, Elwin offers the example of debt repayment. Medical advice probably falls into a similar category, while Joe Cawson says that flesh and blood expertise is especially valuable when service goes wrong. A blended approach of human and technology is still needed to ensure a strong customer experience, emphasizes Cawson, CEO of the Institute of Customer Service. So the next part is called Overcoming User Distrust. Companies are increasingly aware of these subtleties. Bolstered by OpenAI's LLM, for instance, Klarna's AI assistant will pass queries to workers if it can't help directly, inadvertently hinting at the inability of even the most advanced generative AI models to answer particularly naughty questions. More on that in just a minute. Customers, for their part, can request human support themselves. At the same time, companies are working hard to avoid the embarrassment of DPD. In practice, that involves a process called guardrailing, specifically specifying exactly what the AI customer service agent is permitted to do, then testing chatbots with inappropriate content, whether that's racist slurs or impromptu poetry slams. Puntoni again stresses the role of real-world staff here, suggesting the company should program their chatbots to flag key terms, handing the conversation over to a human employee if they're used. Given these pressures, it makes sense that companies are battling to dovetail human and AI in more fundamental ways. Typical here are so-called AI copilots. Rather than replacing staff entirely or else reducing them to virtual babysitters, Companies like Microsoft and Salesforce are instead leveraging the immense assistive potential of AI for call center workers. For its part, Klarna is using copilots to sharpen the fintech's disputes process, gathering the relevant information from payment details to shipping receipts. The company's generative AI then summarizes the data for busy call center staff. It's all about supporting information management, says Elwin, rather than making the decision. Will that be enough to overcome deep-seated public unease about AI customer service? Cawson is unsure. Among other things, she notes that 90% of consumers believe that organizations should be clearer about when they're using AI, implying there's already a mistrust even at this early stage. Data security is another potential worry. Puntoni warns that companies should distinguish between using customers' information in specific interactions, probably fine, and using it to train their models, a much riskier proposition. And yet, with global investments in customer service AI expected to hit the $4 billion mark by 2027, and LLMs already resulting in a 17% boost to data processing speeds, the direction of travel is clear. Expect faster service and hopefully fewer snafus over the years ahead. So let's wrap this up. Well, this is the typical story that we get about AI these days. Here is the huge problem with stories like these. They completely miss the fact that AI is exponential now, and that improvement is so rapid that it's really deceiving. It's very safe to say that within 5 years, call centers will be virtually a thing of the past. There will probably still be a skeleton crew to handle a small number of tough problems, but the vast majority of the 3.4 million people in the U.S. working in call centers today had better be looking for another job. It wouldn't surprise me if in 5 years only the 0.4 million are still working answering the phones, meaning 3 million have lost these jobs. Why am I confident about this prediction? Because I worked in an industry with call centers for 5 years, and the call center struggled years ago to fill seats and usually couldn't. In other words, there were always empty seats. But the 40 million in increased profit just for Klarna tells us everything we need to know. No company in their right mind would pass up a profit improvement like that. And at a 21+% compound annual growth rate, customer service call center jobs will be replaced in short order. So, as always, thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, and share. Also, please support us on Patreon. We need financial support to be able to keep you ahead of job losses that are coming, just like these. Have a good rest of the week. Take care. See you next time. Bye.